Stars is brought to you by Kikoma.
Well, so you are Ryan Ratino.
Absolutely.
Did I say that right, or are you Ratino?
Yep, Ratino, you got
Ratino.
it.
Ryan Ratino. You have two restaurants, and you're opening a third, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We're opening a third and fourth.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
busy. Tell me about them, please.
Yeah, so here in DC, we're opening a kind of ode to hot cuisine, maybe a little bit more contemporary, but a small 34-seat restaurant, kind of paying an homage to the Robuchon and Ducasse and Bocuse era of food, but maybe lightening it a little bit, using a little bit more vegetable concentration, things of that nature, slightly less dairy or a lot less. And just kind of like reinventing those classics in a new way, bring table sides out to the dining room and do a lot of like cocktails and bring the champagne cart back. Cause I think when you go to Europe, that's such a fun part of the experience in dining, and mignardises, trolley and things like that. But like in a little bit like fun, more like artistic way than just maybe your like basic guirdon, kind of have like custom made carts that really like set the tone for like what we're trying to do to like break it down a little bit and not be super pretentious, so we can have a little bit more fun. Like all of our restaurants, we'll play like good music, maybe a little bit too loud, but that's just like what we do, and because we love it, and we kind of go from there. And then next door to that restaurant, there's in the same space, two separate entrances, a small like high-end cocktail bar that we're doing with our director of beverage here, where we're gonna it's kind of like his version of Jônt that we have, like where he's gonna just nerd out on food and or on cocktails in front of the guests, and kind of just have a really good time using like high-end expressions of spirits. And then the other restaurant we're building is actually with the team, the Four Seasons team, in South Florida. We're building a restaurant, oceanfront, with Four Seasons, that we're going to do a big wood fire hearth with demant and cook over wood fire, a lot of seafood, whole turbos, langoustines, kind of like Sea Island red shrimp from the Gulf Coast there in Florida, and utilize a lot of like kind of the local seafoods coming around the state of Florida. And it'll be very simple, just an expression of the highest quality of an ingredient that we can find, but could be as simple as like order the prawns by the piece off the fire. They're just 3 prawns on a plate. There's no like garnishes or sauce work or anything. It's just trying to be like focused on the ingredients and how good they can be when cooked properly over wood fire. Both spaces are like late summer, early fall next year.
Why are you working on 3 different concepts at once, Ryan? That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's
and what are the names of these restaurants?
So we're still in the naming process.
Okay.
We don't quite have it have them figured out yet. We're very back and forth, in particular on some of those things. The cocktail bar and the restaurant here at the Wharf in DC, it was a way to drive efficiency for us as well. Like one, we want to like work with our team that's been with us for a while and like seed them into new ventures, because otherwise they just go out and do things and then like they don't always get the greatest deals and things like that. So we've been through that process and we can help with that. And then it was like a way to break up the space that we were getting, from a business perspective. It's like a larger, not a large space, but it's bigger than what we have now. So like, how can we make it the most efficient to like operate with the least amount of risk in what we're doing? So having 2 revenue centers definitely like helps with that. And kind of like another area. It's always fun to have the dynamic of the two. Like here you have Bresca when you walk in, and then you get taken up to Jônt. Like the energy is different in both restaurants. The vibe is different, like the sound level, the amount of people at sea. So having them like work together, it's a lot of fun. Like they definitely like feed off of each other,
So,
and then yeah, I'm from Ohio, but I lived in Florida for years. I went to culinary school in Florida. My fiance's family's all Orlando based. So we go to Florida a lot. So it's kind of like a natural like process for us to kind of do some business down there, because it just makes sense, like we're there already when we take our downtime. So like, why not turn that downtime into some productivity, I guess, is like how I view it. But at the end of the day, like it was nice. And then working with a brand in the like Four Seasons and Fort Partners, who owns that property, it's great. Like they do really good work. They work with like Thomas Keller at Surfside and Surf Club Restaurant. They worked with Mauro Colagreco up in West Palm Beach in the Four Seasons. So for us to be kind of like sought out by them was kind of felt like a big deal for us. And the property's like stunning and it's brand new and all of that. So we're excited kind of work on that.
And it makes your vacations to Florida tax deductible. So that's cool. I like
exactly.
that.
Yeah. Good excuse to go,
And if you don't want to stay with family, you have a nice property to stay at.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Now like, oh, we got to go to work tomorrow,
So right now you have two restaurants, Bresca and Jônt, right?
Yep.
And so it sounds like one is sort of high-end dinner, and then upstairs is more of a cocktail bar situation. Is that what it is?
No, so downstairs is Bresca. We have one Michelin star. We've been open for 5 years. It's like a like Bistronomy. We're just trying to like have a fun, vibrant environment where we cook seriously, but it's not like all buttoned up and stuffy. You just come in, you have a good meal. It's really fun with a group. Order, 3-4 bottles of wine, caviar service. Go into you can do a 3-4 6-course menu. I do all my like Friendsgivings here with our friends because it's just a great place for all of that. And then you enter that space and then you get let in behind like this kind of bookcase setup that we have. And you go upstairs and then we have Jônt, which is a 31-course kind of like expression of just like high end luxury cooking with a lot of like really, really properly sourced ingredients from Japan. Like the best seafood in the world, just like cooked over a fire. And we present like, it's like 31 total compositions. It's hard to say. It's like 20 drops, but some of those come with like different sidecars, and some of the snacks are one biter. They come in a drop of 5 and all of those things. So it's about 31 total, 32 total compositions. It's like say 20 courses. It's about like a 3 to 3.5 hour dining experience, depending on your pace, where we offer like beverage pairings and 3 different levels of those. And one menu though, all night, seats up to between 14 and 16 guests at a time for just 2 seatings a night, 5 nights a week. Both restaurants are 5 nights a week, and we have 2 stars upstairs. So
nice going. So do you spend your time in Jônt kind of working over those 32 different things, or do you have a crew there that does that while you're busy opening restaurants and conquering the world?
Yeah, so I mean, last night I worked the fire in Jônt. Like I did the hearth all night on service. It's like I love to do it. So I definitely like spend a lot of like I use the daytime for like business development, and then the nighttime I try and occupy like 95% with being in service between the 2 restaurants. We're lucky here; it's just an elevator ride away. They're above each other, so you can kind of see both. And how we have it set up, when one's in a transition of seatings, the other one's usually at its like peak business, so you can kind of come down to Bresca when that's happening, and then when the next seating comes in, you can then go back upstairs for that seating as well. So they kind of like work together in that sense.
That makes sense. So how are you going to divide your time when you have 2 more restaurants?
Yeah, that's I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna like split it. No, we have a great team, so that'll help obviously. And then openings are always good and intense, and kind of like the team development is in a really good place for us. We're going to bring on some just very strong individuals from around the US to join us in that progression, so that way they're ready and prepared, and they'll come train in this building with us to learn our culture and our way of doing things. Because for us, culture is a big thing, but for myself, like it'll definitely be a change in how I will work, and I'm gonna have to learn it, because like just saying right now, this is how I'm gonna do it, I don't know if it's gonna work like that. So I'll learn as we go where and how the time would be spent. But with a big focus on, I do, with Jônt here, like really want to go for 3 stars. So put a lot of my focus into the menu and the dinner there, because it's like, so I mean, I think a lot of chefs aspire for it, but we're close. So it's like that last stretch, hopefully, that we can try and push.
And you're a relative puppy dog, right? You're like 31 years old, something like that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm 32 years old. Yeah, exactly. So good. Yeah, a lot of energy still. So see by 38 how that holds up.
And how far away is the Wharf from Bresca and Jônt?
It's only like about 1.25 miles.
Oh,
so, yeah, not too far.
You can get your steps in. You can jog there.
Yeah, exactly. Take a run down there, or do one of the little scooters, you know?
Great. Well, and they're all opening, all three. The fine dining traditional era restaurant that we don't know what it's called, the cocktail bar that we don't know what it's called, and the one in Fort Lauderdale, right?
Yep.
Is they're all opening next year soon ish.
Yeah, exactly. They'll open next year, like between summer and winter. You know, one
Oh,
might,
okay.
yeah, exactly. They're going to be split out a little bit, probably like 4 to 6 months apart, hopefully. You know, like that's the goal. But yeah, so like yeah, they hopefully, they won't topple each other. Yeah. Supply chain
Hopefully.
helps delay enough things for us these days, so it's really, really hard to tell. But like definitely looks to be like a good divide between the two.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna. I hope this doesn't jinx you, but I'm gonna congratulate you in advance of your successful opening of these three
Thank you.
restaurants. So far so good. So
Exactly, right. We have a good record for it so far. So let's see.
yes. Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan Ratino, it was a pleasure getting to know you, and I hope this is the first of many conversations.